This guy says he doesn't date women under 30. Let's talk about.
He doesn't date women over 30, I think.
Or what? Sorry, I might have missed. He doesn't date women over 30. I think. Yeah. Thank you. That's a perfect segue to talk a little bit about age gap relationships. Allie, you happen to be in a bit of an age gap relationship. Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I'm married. My husband is 51. I'm 28. We started dating when I was 25. And he would have been 48 at the time. I am very happy. I don't think that I could have been with a man my age. I think that they're very effeminate, and I understand that there's plenty of reasons why, like both social and environmental. We've been asking men to man down for a very long time, to kind of just do the things that we want them to, and they like believe these things as if they're attractive and they're not. And I just find that Gen X men have a better grip.
Keeko, you gotta scoot like you're not in frame.
I just find that Gen X men have a better grasp on game, you know what I mean? And like something weird must have happened with millennial and Gen Z men. So yeah, I'm mostly in an age gap. I get a lot of criticism about it, like pretty frequently, but I mean, I'm happy. This is the man for me. And also, like, he's pretty attractive as well, in my opinion. Like, other women might see him and not think so, but he was fit for his age as well. And I just think that takes more discipline. Like, I don't care about a 20-year-old man who has like a six-pack. You should, you should. But if there's a 48-year-old man that has a six-pack, I'm like, oh, okay, like that took decades to maintain. So that's pretty much my situation. He's having his first kid at 51, like a whole feminist, and it is what it is. But that's my age gap. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want me to, yeah. I've been on here about age gaps multiple times now. And your situation, I don't see anything wrong with that. You're 25 years old, sound woman, 48. Now, if you would have said, oh, I was 19 and he was 42, then I would have been like, I would be like, was this a relationship you would be in still if you wouldn't have been 19 at the time? Because I just think a lot of things change in those few years when you are of legal drinking age, and you can have more of those experiences as 19 to 25, 19 to even 23. Those things are a very big difference. So 25 to 48, yeah, I would never even blink twice at that.
I don't even think there's anything wrong with a 19-year-old necessarily. Like, are you talking about choosing to date or have sex with? Because young women have sex with older men, like, more than people are willing to admit.
Yeah, that's not sleeping with. You don't need anything in common with somebody except for both of legal age to sleep with someone, right? Yeah.
Right.
My thing was, when I came in here times before, I wouldn't even say, if you were 19 and he was 43 and it was like, a rare occurrence for him to be dating a 19-year-old, then people meet, shit happens. You could fall in love. There's weirder things happen every day, for sure. But if he was a 43-year-old man and you would be the fifth 19-year-old he's dated, I would have been like, why is he choosing to date only women who are still in their teens? I think that's where flags come, when it becomes a reoccurring thing for older men, because you can meet people younger and it could be an off chance, but it is a weird coincidence to me if you are above the age of 40 and you can consistently date people who aren't even of the legal drinking age in our country.
Well, I would say, how dare a man be attracted to a woman who's at the height of her physical attractiveness and fertility?
I didn't say be attracted to, because she said we already established the dating versus sex. I'm saying dating. A man who chooses to date women who are 18 or 19 only, it does put a red flag in my mind of to why can't he date and be committed to women who have more experience.
It's not that he can't.
Than an 18 or 19.
It's not that he can't. It's just, and I think, very few men who are in their 40s, I think, are attractive enough, whether that's physically, of finances, or status-wise, to be consistently dating 18-year-old, 19, 20, 21-year-old baddies. It's just biology.
We never
it's
said
evolution.
They were baddies either.
I wouldn't even say that.
They don't have to be baddies, but
I wouldn't even say that it's biology, because like attraction doesn't necessarily like work in that particular way. It just doesn't make sense to me how you're okay with an older man sleeping with a younger woman just to get his rocks off versus him being in an actual relationship with her.
I think it's weird too. Yeah, I think it's still weird.
So you think they're both weird?
I think they're both weird, yes, but I think it becomes more of an issue when, they're like seeking a partner only out of it, because, if an 18 or 19-year-old woman chooses to sleep with an older man, she's of legal consent of aging. She can do that. He's not,
Okay.
she can make that choice. But when it becomes a relationship, that's how I see manipulation and power dynamics can take play, because a relationship, obviously a lot more goes into it than just hooking up.
Well, I think like a relationship should be more meaningful than sex. Like
Exactly.
That this doesn't make sense. Like, it's okay for her to give her body away to an older man to use it, but it's not okay for her to give her body away to an older man who takes care of her and wants to be in a relationship with her. Then he has to be manipulative. Like, that doesn't. I would argue that there's probably more manipulation to get her in the sack than it is to like have that long-term relationship.
I see your point totally, but maybe because when I'm thinking about it to get her into the sack,
Dick Pic Energy donated $100. Older women use the age issue as a cop-out to deny reality. They pretend, even though they themselves screwed older men at that age, because they don't like that biological clock. TikTok. Dated 18, 19-year-olds. They're equally propagandized.
Yo, DBE, thank you for that. Eric, can you pull up that Haram one? I'll just do it just because he probably, go for it if you want to pull that one up. Oh, wait, should we have to wait? Okay, no, that's good. Harman is live. Thank you for the Canadian 100. Just to be clear, guys, for the TTS, for it to trigger, whether it's through Streamlabs or through YouTube, it has to be, because the TTS is through Streamlabs, it has to be USD. So the reason that didn't come through as a TTS is, and there's no way to differentiate to like change it on Streamlabs for, different currencies. So it does have to be, if you're donating in Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, New Zealand dollars, it has to be 100 USD. But you didn't know, so I'm going to read this. I bet, actually, you know what? Keeko, I know you want to read this. Go ahead.
the super chat.
Yeah.
I bet anyone sleeping with multiple men, it becomes second nature to look for multiple men to sleep with. To the guys, you can buy a used car and save money, or choose to marry a used girl/woman and lose 50% or more of your life's earnings in divorce.
Yeah.
Good times. Harmon, thank you, man. Let's continue with the, actually really quick chat. Eric, if you can pull up the pop-out chat really quick. I'm super appreciative of the TTS. It's been slightly distracting the show. It's coming in. Should I bump the TTS for the rest of the show, guys? 1 in the chat if I should bump it, or 2 in the chat if leave it be. Let me know. I mean, maybe the table wants to win.
Please bump it up.
Bump it up.
It's literally every couple minutes.
It is kind of, so 1 in the chat, bump it, 2, leave it. It's kind of looking.
It's not even at all. That's multiple ones.
A little mixed.
It's every 2 per 4 ones.
Let's okay. Let's continue on with the conversation.
Yeah.
I'll see how it goes, but I may have to bump it.
Okay. I mean, I think that's just a double standard, right? Because obviously I am a public figure to a degree. I wouldn't say I'm famous or anything like that. But it's like if I was an older woman and I was married to a younger man, nobody would care, And
I wouldn't say that.
I very much believe that. There's a couple of
That's why
people that might
cougar
care.
exists. And what's the word for a man who seeks?
How is cougar a put down? That's not a put down.
I've never seen someone be thrilled to be called a cougar ever. I would be very insulted if somebody ever called me a cougar.
Yeah, well, that's mostly anecdotal. We just have varying experiences. I just don't see that happen often. I see a lot of the times it's like, yes, queen, you go, girl, which that kind of age gaps present their own individual issues to begin with. But I think we really shame men for finding younger women attractive when it's pretty standard. Like the age that men find women attractive, honestly, so as men get older, they still find the same age group of women attractive.
We already, yeah.
Yeah, but as women get older, we find men in our age group, on average, between 3 to 7 years older than us. We continue to find them attractive, right? So it's like, if I'm 30 and he's 34, I still think he's attractive. If I'm 40 and he's 44, I'll think he's attractive, just on average. But with men, they just consistently find young women attractive.
And you don't think that's weird?
No, I don't think it's weird.
Normal.
I think it's completely normal.
Keeko. It's normal, Keeko.
It's biology.
But I do want.
But that's what it's the biology. Because the only thing you've been able to give me usually is fertility, this and that. Okay, first of all, I don't know any woman that's 30 that it's your time doesn't tick at 30. That's not how it works. Maybe 40, sure, that's when we're getting a little closer. But a 25-year-old woman is not much more fertile than a 30-year-old woman. In those 5 years, that's not what's happening, and that's what's always the evidence being placed in front of me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being attracted to somebody younger or older than you. I'm just saying it is possible for men who are much older,
Use
women.
P word if you're going to say it. Just use P word.
Even women, I'm saying it's possible. Women, men, I'm just using I'm using men because that's what we're talking about. I think it's very naive to deny that a power dynamic cannot be in place with an older man or woman and somebody younger. That's all I'm saying. So it's the people who consistently seek out somebody that much drastically younger, because, you know, even a 25-year-old woman is going to look much younger than a 40-year-old man. So, like, why does it have to be 18, 19 all the time? Because I just, for me personally, I'm only 23. I don't know everything, of course. But I do know I've grown a lot and learned a lot since I was 19. And being around more adults and more of an adult playing field, I didn't become to be around 30-year-olds and things like that until I was 21. So that's the only thing why I'm like, you know, why? I'm not saying even 21. I wouldn't even blink an eye at 21, but it's 18. I'm just saying the men who are 18 to go up to the 18, 19 year olds.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's reasons why, and I could talk about them. Like, there's some biological theories, don't get me wrong, like about 90% of women's eggs are gone by age 30. It doesn't mean that you can't continue to have children. It just means like you're at your last 10% of your reservoir. But then you run into hormonal issues probably around like...
Ryan the Eating Warrior super chatted $99.99. How do your parents feel about marrying someone closer to their age? I feel like dating that big of an age gap is peak daddy issues.
Oh, like for me? No, I asked my mom. She just said that she didn't think it was going to be... She didn't know that he was going to end up being the man that I married. But I've consistently been attracted to older men. When I was 17, I dated a man that was 24. Our parents knew each other. There wasn't anything weird about it. He was just a kind young man and came from a good family. And that's pretty much how I've always dated. I have dated men that were in my age group, but it's just not something that I consider. I did grow up in a single mother home, but that's not going to stop the fact that, you know, I've just kind of always been this way. Even when I was a kid, right? Like, I thought Brad Pitt was hot. You know what I mean? Like, that's just been my thing.
I still think he's hot.
Yeah, well...
Just saying.
I think he's kind of hitting, like, some type of wall. But I think that's just, like, some girls. I wouldn't say that that's a majority of girls. That's just been how I am. And I think it's because they tend... Like, have you seen how a fit 20-year-old dude looks compared to, like, a fit 35-year-old dude? How, like, one kind of looks more like a boy and the other one kind of looks more like a man?
Yes.
Yeah, like, that's kind of been, like, my take on it.
And that's exactly my point. I know it's not everybody, but like I said, I'm only 23.
Yeah.
When I was 18, 19-year-old men or older, looking great. Now that the fact that I'm 23, I would say 95% of men that are 18, 19, 20, around those age, look like little boys. And I'm bisexual, so even from a girl standpoint, yes, some women, I would agree, we mature faster than men, for sure. But if you can't tell from a girl that she's 18 or 19 by her looks, you'll tell when she opens her mouth. Like, we can all guarantee, like, they didn't even have to tell me. And I was like 18, 19 max, all three of them. They look
Shots fired.
No, it's nothing.
Shots
they
fired.
just look young. I'm not saying they act young or anything.
Shots
You could
fired.
just tell.
Yeah.
They even have piercing, those stuff. You could just tell they're young. So to me, as a 23-year-old woman, if I can tell these girls who are only 5 years younger than me literally look like they're straight, fresh out of high school, barely know what the world's going on,
but
how
they're
can a
still hot.
45-year-old woman be like, yeah, that's the peak woman, what
Wait.
I want? Like,
Keeko,
I'm not saying they're not
are
women.
you saying,
I'm not saying they're not
you're
women,
not
but
attracted
they
to
are.
them?
I'm not saying they're not women, but I'm saying they look young.
Shut up, hold on.
Point blank period.
Hold on.
Women have run through so many men they cannot pair bond. They're insane. Plus, if I'm gonna have a relationship 3+ years before marriage/kids, fertility plays a role in that. You're 23-year-old. Hate 19-year-olds pulling D.
Yo, DBE, sorry that we kind of missed a little bit of that. By 30, women have run through many men they cannot pair bond.
This is so silly to
And
me.
No, but that's true.
It's not true though, because there's women. There could be.
Well,
I'm not gonna.
about what she said.
Yes, but I don't know her. I don't know what her age
I think
is.
that, like,
Closer,
the
closer.
idea.
No. Like, you're still so she made a statement about pair bonding. I'm saying, like, it's true. You can kind of mess up your ability to pair bond because it comes down to habits, right? So if you're like constantly having, promiscuous sex, it is harder for you to have that habit of staying committed to one man.
Well, I just think that the idea that it would be harder to be in a relationship with someone in their 30s is very silly, because in my personal experience dating women in their 30s is a incredible experience, because they are more mature, they are more able to have conversations with you, they are more committed to understanding, they know more about themselves. Like, it's been like a win-win-win, dating women who are in their 30s.
Yeah, so there's like 3 things happening at once. She was talking about age gaps. Then you talked about pair bonding. Well, he talked about pair bonding.
I didn't say anything about pair bonding. I just said that the comment was silly.
Oh, okay.
Just to be clear.
The comment was about pair bonding, and then it is harder to like stay attracted to a man long term if you do sleep with multiple men. But then you're talking about like your experience as a woman dating other women.
Sure.
Right? Like